What's up, everybody? It's your boy aka Big Zeke, coming back at y'all with another weekly inspirational thought. I pray that you and your families have all been doing well. And we're going to jump right into this week's thought, which is entitled, Let's Build Each Other Up, Not Tear Each Other Down. Let's build each other up, not tear each other down. The reference scriptures will be in the comment section as always, and let's jump right into it. God blessed me with three this week, and I'll be reading all of them in the NIV version. The first comes from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11, which reads, Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. The next comes from Colossians chapter 4, verse 6, which reads, Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. And the last one comes from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. Okay? So those are the reference scriptures. And like I said, today's thought that God gave me is let's build each other up, not tear each other down. Nowadays you see a lot of people tearing each other down on social media, on the job. You see people tearing each other down a lot, and it's very disheartening to see. People are so quick to tear each other down, or tear an idea down, or tear somebody's hopes down just because it may not match up with something that the person thinks, and that's not a good thing. It's always better to build somebody else up. Okay, so God blessed me with three thoughts on this topic for this week, and we're going to jump right into those. The first is this. With so much evil and destruction going on in the world, it's easy to add insult to injury in people's lives to hold them down. But believe it or not, it's even easier and better to build someone up. So instead of adding to the chaos and holding people down, let's change the narrative and help build each other up like God wants us to. How do I know this? 1 Thessalonians 5:11, Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Let's encourage one another. Got to build each other up. It's too easy to tear somebody down. Or, you can go on social media right now. Somebody can post something. And if you see one person dislike the post, then all of a sudden there's a conga line of people who just jump on it just because. Oh yeah, that person right. Yeah, this dude sucked. This ain't this. It's easy to tear people down. But it's even easier just to build somebody up. How difficult is it for you on a regular day just to walk by somebody and say, hey, good job, you're doing good? It's not that difficult, right? Or to walk past somebody and say, you know what? If nobody else says it today, you're doing real good. I'm proud of you. It's not that difficult. Or even just a simple, hey, how you doing? I hope your day is going well. Something as simple as that can build somebody up because you don't know what they're going through. It's so easy to build others up, yet a lot of people choose to tear folks down. So for those of us that know this and understand this concept, let's continue to build others up. Show people by our actions. Build them up. Change the narrative. See, the narrative nowadays is to jump on the bandwagon. Everybody want to jump on what's popular, not necessarily what's right, not necessarily what is correct. Everybody want to jump on the latest fads or trends or whatever the case is. That's what the thing is today. If 1,500 people like the fact that somebody drinking gasoline, guess what? Everybody gonna like drinking gasoline. They gonna think it's the cool thing to do. But let's change the narrative. Let's make building each other up the cool thing to do. Okay? The next thought that God gave me is this. Sometimes it's not what we say, but how we say it. I'm pretty sure most of us have heard that saying at some point in our lives. And it holds a lot of truth to it. Even when building someone up, if we're not careful of how we say something, we can ultimately offend the person that we're trying to uplift. So, knowing this, we must learn to be careful with how we say things just as much as what we say, especially when we're trying to encourage someone to build someone up, because we don't want somebody to miss out on what they're supposed to get from God through us just because of our poor, rough, or misguided execution of what we're supposed to say to that person in that moment. Okay? We don't want somebody to miss what they're supposed to get from God because we say something the wrong way or we do it with an attitude. We want to make sure we do it the right way, say it the right way. Okay? How do I know this? Colossians chapter 4, verse 6. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. We got to pay attention to how we say things. We may have the right words, but notice the difference. I'm going to say something two different ways. Use a quick example. If you tell a kid not to walk across the street, okay, first way, and I ain't going to tell you which way is which. First way, get your stupid butt out that street before a car come by and hit you. You going to get yourself killed. You want to die today? Or, hey, you got to be careful going across those streets. Make sure you look both ways. Because if you don't, a car could come by and something bad could happen, and we don't want that to happen to you. You see the difference? Now, which way is the child going to look at that? Or the person that she even talking to going to look at that? Like, they're going to be terrified of the first way, so out of fear they might listen. But the second way, they're going to be like, man, this person really care about me. Okay. Let me pay a little more attention. Let me focus a little more. See, it's how you say it. It's not necessarily what you say, because in both scenarios that I just painted, you correct, because if the person don't look both ways, they could get hit by a car. But aggressive and mean and name calling versus love and showing direction and showing why. There's a difference. So we have to be careful of how we say things. Even if we may mean well, we still have to be careful of how we say things. Because if we say things the wrong way, even though we may have the right words or the right thing that God gave us to say in that moment, people ain't going to receive it the same. And they may miss out on something God is trying to do through us for them. Okay? And the final point that God gave me for this week, we can't be negative and positive at the same time. Life just doesn't work that way. So when we're uplifting others, we have to make sure that we are speaking life, not death. Positivity, not negativity. Strength, not weakness. Peace, not chaos, and so forth, so on and so forth. Also, it is important for us to always remember that when we're uplifting others, we're not uplifting them according to our needs, but we're uplifting them according to their needs, for their benefit. So when we're uplifting others, make sure that we are putting the person that we're uplifting's needs first and foremost. It's not always about us, okay? By utilizing positivity as well as making sure that the people we're helping and uplifting are the focus, we are building them up the way that God desires us to, and that's the best thing that we can do. Best thing we can do is uplift people with positivity, with love, and putting their needs first the way God desires us to. How do I know that? Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. It may benefit, excuse me, I'm reading too fast, that it may benefit those who listen. Like we've been talking about today. When you say something negative or when you act negatively towards somebody, they're not going to receive it the same as to when you say something positively or you act positively toward them. They're not going to receive it the same. Okay? So we have to make sure that when we're approaching things, we approach it with a positive mindset. Especially when we're calling ourselves trying to help people or be there with somebody. How you going to go to somebody and try to help them, but you being disgruntled when doing it? Well, come on so I can go ahead and get you this. So come on so you can get this from me so you can do what you got to do. Ain't nobody even going to want your help. They're not going to want your help. Because you got an attitude. You're negative about the situation. You got to be positive when you're trying to uplift and help people. And you got to make sure that you ain't doing it just for your needs to be met. All right, I'm going to do this for you, but I better get this back because, I want to make sure I get this. Or if I look out for you here, just make sure you get ready to look out for me when I need you next. It ain't about that. Meet their needs. Let their needs be first and foremost met in that situation. It's not about us. When we're uplifting others, it's not about us. It's about making sure they get what they need. And if we have it, then allow God to use us to bless them with what we have so that they can have their needs met. It's not about what we can get out the situation. It's not about us. It's about them. So if we keep these things in mind, this all ties in because that way, when we help people positively and we make sure their needs are met, guess what? It's building them up. And that's what this whole video has been about today. These are areas where we help build people up. Speaking to people the right way, we're uplifting them, it builds them up. It doesn't tear them down. Making sure others' needs are met and doing things with positivity towards others, that builds them up on the inside. If you help somebody with a positive mindset and you make sure their needs are met in their mind, wow, this person really cares. Somebody do care about me. Man, so if somebody care about me, then I can do some stuff. Okay. It starts a domino effect. But if we approach life negatively and we only thinking about ourselves and we talking reckless to people when we call ourselves trying to help them, that's not helping them. That's tearing them down. Because then they go look at it like, man, don't nobody want to help me. They only doing it because they pity me or they think I'm a charity case. And don't nobody want to feel like that. Don't nobody want to feel like that people just helping them just because they're a charity case or something like that. Nobody wants to feel that way. So instead of tearing them down by using negativity or doing stuff just for yourself, let's build each other up. Let's build each other up with our words. Let's build each other up with our actions. Let's build each other up with how we treat one another. Let's build each other up and not tear each other down. This is a world that is so easy to just tear others down. But it's even easier to build others up. We just have to just do the simple things to build each other up. Like I said in the beginning, like God put it on my heart to say, let's change the narrative. Let's make the cool thing to do, building each other up and not tearing each other down, okay? That's all God blessed me with this week. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Take care. Love one another. Remember to build somebody up this week, not tear somebody down. And as always, be inspired.